Usually at a second press conference, we're here to tell you that things are getting better and we're moving forward. And I'm not here to tell you that right now. I'm telling you that there's some parts of the fire that are not improving. CAL FIRE will focus on that. I know there's some people who are very frustrated over repopulating their neighborhoods, and we're working very strong with CAL FIRE very well to try to get that repopulation happening. You're just going to have to listen to what CAL FIRE has, because we are not going to put you in a place where the danger of the down power lines or the trees that have fallen already, the power poles that have fallen because of being burnt, are going to happen. So the repopulation is not where I thought it would be. I thought I'd be here to talk about Pine Mountain and so forth, but we're not there. I want to talk about the deaths, and while we can confirm there have been 3 deaths, because the pathologist has not positively identified the decedents, I'm not going to give you the addresses or the ages and the sex and so forth, but certainly our prayers are with the family in the neighborhood. This is impacting one of our local schools, and the counselors, according to the principal, have been put into place to deal with the sadness and grief that comes along with the tragedy. So I want you to know that tomorrow we're going to have one press conference. It's going to be at noon tomorrow. But CAL FIRE will continue to put out their daily briefings in the morning as far as acreage and as far as the amount of equipment which is being used. So I'd like for CAL FIRE operations to address where we are right now.
So go ahead for an update around the headquarters.
Good afternoon, everybody. George Gonzalez with CAL FIRE. I'm the unit chief here.
Please speak up.
Yeah. A little bit better? Yeah. I have to get it a lot closer.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. George Gonzalez, CAL FIRE. I'm the unit chief here locally. As some of you already know, I was here this morning to introduce myself. I am the agency administrator as well for the Lake County fires. We have called in the incident management team to assist us in a complex incident management for the fires that we do have. Currently, we have this fire here that burned from the Potter Valley over to the Redwood Valley and is now burning towards the north, towards our headquarters station and to the east. Currently, the fire is approximately 21,000 acres, and there is active firefight going on the north part and the east part and on the Van Arsdale side of the fire. Again, for specifics, I'm going to turn it over to one of the incident commanders, Ron Bravo, for specific information. But we are looking for assistance from everybody, the public, all entities, that this is still an active firefight. By no means is it safe to go into interior areas of the fire. We have large spans of PG&E lines that are down and active and sparking, trees that are weak at the roots and have been falling over near and adjacent to firefighting operations. So this is a very active firefight as well as a very dangerous situation with all the contributing factors such as power lines, propane tanks, and fallen trees. Again, I'd like to turn it over to the incident commander, Chief Ron Bravo, for specific fire information.
Okay. Good afternoon. Once again, Ron Bravo with Team 4. I know most of you are here are interested in both fires. I'll start off first with the sulfur fire over in Lake County. We do have some good news to report there. Good progress made last night. Damage inspection is ongoing and it still remains at 2,500 acres. Just real quick, we are evaluating whether or not we'll be able to repopulate some of the areas, but just I want to reiterate, it's still under an evaluation whether or not we'll be able to get to that point or not. One thing you notice, today's weather is different than the last couple of days. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods. One of the things I talked about this morning is that it's still going to be a dynamic environment, and that has proven itself today because on our incident here, the Redwood incident, we have gotten fire growth in multiple directions. Because of the fact that the wind died down and is not as pushing it in one direction, we're getting movement both to the north, to the east, and to the west. And specifically, I'll talk about Pine Mountain. We have approximately 100 homes there that we're concerned about. The fire continues to move in that direction. That is still under an evacuation order. Moving to Van Arsdale on the east portion of the fire came over the ridgetop and is backing down in that area. That went from a warning to an order. because we have about 50 homes we're concerned with in that location. We did have some success in the southern portion of the fire. It didn't get as much movement as the rest of the fire, but I want to reiterate this fire is continuing to move in multiple directions. One thing to point out on the Van Arsdale, we talked about resources. We've been getting resources in from different locations. We got about 120 folks in on 4 hand crews that were able to ship out just prior to us coming over here to get them headed to Van Arsdale. We're continuing to get resources in, both engines and crews and overhead. So we're able to ship those out in different locations. So just the brief update, we're still calling it 0% contained because this fire is moving in multiple directions, but we're trying to approach it as best we can and utilize the resources we have to have our best opportunity for success. So for the damage inspection point of things, we will start that tomorrow on the Redwood incident. We are going to wrap up the inspection process on the sulfur incident either this morning or tomorrow morning, and then we'll rapidly move over to the Redwood incident and start assessing the damage that many of you have been affected by the fire. So that's the current situation, just 2,500 acres on the sulfur, and the percent containment will go up from 10 by this evening. However, we're still at just over 21,000 acres and 0% contained on the Redwood incident. Not that I'm aware of.
When do people go back to Redwood Valley?
So we had a dispatch for a wildland fire in Hopland. It was contained and controlled, less than a quarter acre.
So just let me reiterate, when we're talking about evacuations, some of the things we talked about this morning and Chief Gonzalez mentioned, it's not just the fires that we're having to deal with. We're dealing with down power lines. We're working closely with PG&E to get those situated so one, it's safe to be in there, and it's safe for when we do repopulate, that it'll be available to be a safe environment for all of you to get back into. So it's still dynamic, like I said, and we're doing our best to evaluate it for not only the safety of you folks, but the safety of our personnel that are in there. So we'll continue to be as aggressive as we can to get that open as soon as we can. I know some of you are in shelters, and I understand that that is a very difficult place to be. And we're going to do everything we can to get you back to your homes timely and as quickly as possible, but we need to ensure that it's safe for you as well as us. And it's a very involved process of making sure that the power lines are safe, that the natural gas and propane is secured, and that we don't have falling trees. Some of the things that happen when you have a rapid moving fire, you get fire seated in trees at the base of them or up high, and you get a lot of falling trees. And we do not want to have people injured when we can prevent that. So it's going to take us a little bit of time to get in there, but we're doing everything we can to get ahead of it quickly as possible. I know it seems like a long time, but we're going to do everything we can to get you back there and safely and as quickly as possible.
What's the projected timeline for that, please?
Like I said, it's dynamic. You know what? We wish that we're very fortunate for the weather pattern that we have now, that we don't have those winds, but we're still challenged to put our hands around the fire and connect it. We are having some success out there, but there's a lot of drainages we haven't been able to get into yet. So it's going to take time to secure some of those areas, but as soon as feasibly possible, we'll get you back in there as long as it's safe. Now, can I give you a 72-hour time frame or a 24? It's going to be flexible, and I know that's not a concrete answer for you, but we're doing everything we can because we understand what it's like to be out of your home. We've evacuated our own communities in the past and have had loved ones in the same position you're in, and we do not want to keep you there if we can prevent it.
So it's safe to say at least
Give us one more day. I mean, like I said, we got fire moving in multiple directions, and we're trying to do everything we can to secure it, but one second we're having success on one end and we're having issues on the other. And it's very common when you have a weather pattern that slows down. You get the heat kind of diurnally effects of the environment you're around. It heats up. The fire wants to lift up and move, and that's what we're seeing today. It's kind of right in line with what was kind of predicted. And we need to try to secure areas because we're going to get another weather front that's going to push us again from the north here in a day or two.
Yeah. What about Powder Valley? You didn't mention that.
So I will talk about Powder Valley. I want to talk about local radio stations. They're the KLK or KLLG, KZYX, KOZT, KWINE, KUKI. These are the radio stations that are going to be given all your information as far as when repopulation. We're going to get that information to them as soon as we possibly can. Please don't listen to satellite radio. listen to local radio, because we are giving you that information. We can't talk about specifically Potter Valley. What we're trying to do is get the CAL FIRE team and the sheriff's office to work with the local fire departments to say, yes, we can do it. Are we going to let some people go in there when it's not 100% safe? Of course we are. We're a property rights county. We respect your rights. But on the other hand, if you get in danger, we're going to use more first responders to rescue you and to protect you, and they're not able to do other things. We're continuing to patrol for looting. There's been no more additional looters. And all I ask is a little bit of patience. As the chief stated, tomorrow we hope we're going to be able to tell you a little bit more. I'm going to have Carmel Angelo come up, but I want to address the cell phone coverage in Willits and the hardline coverage in Willits and the 911. AT&T is in the process as we speak. I watched them today putting up 2 temporary cell towers. PG&E, of all places, they have a portable cell tower. Excuse me. And they are bringing a portable cell tower in. The AT&T cell tower does not work with other cell phones. However, the PG&E cell tower will work with all services. I do want to address the hospitals. Our hospitals are not full. We have room. We have the emergency rooms that are available for all emergencies, and the ambulance have staffed up on their scene. 1 second, Andy. So, Carmel Angelo.
Hi, good afternoon. I hope you will all agree we have the best sheriff, don't we? I have to say, he's doing a wonderful, wonderful job of managing this county in a crisis. I want to let you know that we are here to serve you, and that doesn't change, and particularly in an event like this, a local disaster, we are here to serve you. Can you hear me now? We are here to serve you. That's what Mendocino County does. We are public servants. We're here to serve you. There's a local disaster. We're here. I want you to know that we have both of our shelters open. We have room in the shelters. By now, hopefully you know, we have a shelter at Ukiah High School and we have a shelter at Willits High School. So if you know someone that needs sheltering, those are the places to go, and meals are available at the shelters. There is a number that's in front of this podium. That is the 24/7 number that we have published and we've asked people to call. There is a phone bank with county employees that are managing that phone number. However, we still need more help, so we have now enlisted the aid of 211. So if you have a question or a problem, you could call that number. If you can't get through, please call 211. If you call 211 first and you can't get through, please call that number. We are calling in all available resources to help answer the phones. We're getting a lot of calls. We don't want to get backed up. If you call and it takes a while, please wait. We have staff there to answer your questions. It might just take a little while to get through. Additionally, we have had questions about masks. We've had questions from the public and we've had questions from our employees. And our air quality director is here to address the air quality, but I want you to know that we will be providing masks for our staff that work outside and for any member of the public that wants a mask. So please be listening to the radio or looking for press releases, and that you will find out when and where to pick up a mask if you would like a mask. They're on order. We don't have them yet, but we will have them. And I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Can I add something? The people at the Elks Lodge say that all evacuees are welcome to come eat there. They have meals for a week.
So when is that? Is that just dinner at night or when?
They're open all day.
Okay.
All day they have food there.
Okay. The Elks Lodge for food if you need a place to go for a meal. Thank you.
So air quality?
Hello, everyone. My name is Barbara Mowat. I'm the air pollution control officer. You gotta get the mic. All right. Get right up to it. Better? Yeah. As close as you can. All right. I'm Barbara Mowat, air pollution control officer.
Closer, louder, Barbara.
I don't know.
No, just yell into it. That's all you need to do.
Okay. Barbara Mowat, air pollution control officer. Hi, everybody. First, regarding masks, I'd just like to say that of the typical paper, fabric type mask, the ones that are are N95 certified are really the only ones that work. And they have two pieces of elastic where they go around your head, and you also have to have a good fit around your nose for those to be effective. So just thought I'd share that. In addition to that, as you may know, the Air Quality Management District has air monitors in Ukiah and in Willits, and the data collected there is pushed to our website on an hourly basis. So if you would like to get current air quality information, you can go to our website, which is mendoair.org. Scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see the data and links to explanations of the data. So the readings since, well, I guess it was Monday early afternoon, our readings left the good to moderate range and started getting into the unhealthy for sensitive groups, unhealthy, very unhealthy, and today we did reach hazardous for a brief interval in the early afternoon. And, you know, basically, I'm not a public health officer, but, you know, basically what we say is if you can be indoors with the windows closed, with your air conditioning units on recirculate. And if you need to be outside, limit your physical exertion. Those are suggestions. Most sensitive groups are children, the elderly, and people with respiratory disease or impairments, typically related to heart or lung disease. So those are the people, you know, that need to be most aware of the conditions and take care of themselves. Seek, you know, if you are experiencing difficulty breathing or chest pains, please see your healthcare provider. That's about it. We're continuing to monitor the data. I have guys servicing our units now because they're getting dirty pretty fast. And we'll be posting air quality advisories on a daily basis. Questions?
So as was said with CAL FIRE, and at the end, and just like this morning, we'll take questions at the end, okay? Let's get all the information out because it might answer your questions. As was said by CAL FIRE, this fire has been joined in command with the Lake County Fire, and Lake County Sheriff's Office Lieutenant Pollich is here. And one of the things about Lake County and Mendocino County, we have relatives that are there and here and so forth, and there are some road closures in Lake County that I'd like the Lieutenant to address.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, we'd just like to say our thoughts are with all of you here in the Mendocino County, as well as the people in Lake County. It's been a rough couple years for us over there, so we know how hard this is for you guys to deal with, and our thoughts are with you. Sorry, I will speak up. So some road closures and evacuations. Our evacuation orders are still in effect for all areas. Although CAL FIRE is making significant progress and we're hoping to repopulate, those areas that were evacuated are still under evacuation orders. Road closures, we have road closures at Sulphur Bank Road at Highway 20, Lakeshore Drive at Olympic Drive, and Arrowhead at Park Drive. I would like to get out a few phone numbers for folks in Lake County. Our Emergency Operations Center phone number is 707-263-3450. If you have any questions or need assistance, you can call that number. We're there right now operating at the office from 8 to 5. If you need after-hours assistance, you can contact our dispatch center at 707-263-2690. Also, we have 2 shelters that are open currently, one at Twin Pine Casino in Middletown, and another at the Grace Church in Kelseyville. For folks that may not have transportation to a shelter, Lake Transit has offered free rides to the shelters. They just ask you to get to a bus stop in the city of Clear Lake, and they will transport you there free of charge. And that's all I have. Thank you.
As far as volunteer opportunities, we certainly appreciate it. As was said this morning on the Red Cross website, there is a volunteer now button you can press. It takes 24 hours for them to confirm that you're a volunteer. Your volunteerism is certainly appreciated. And North Coast Opportunities, NCO, as always, is a supporter of the county of getting volunteers involved with local immediate situations. Schools, as we, I don't have the answers to schools unless somebody does. Willett School tomorrow has been canceled. Willett School has been turned off the gas, and the superintendent stated today it will not reopen until gas and power has been restored. I do want to talk about Howard Memorial Hospital Willits because the natural gas has been cut off. PG&E, as we speak, has brought in a truck and has hooked up portable a mobile gas unit to the hospital. They'll be switching out every 24 hours, so the hospital will have gas for heat, and we're very appreciative of PG&E. They told us it was going to take a week and a half this morning, and they're there now doing it. So Chair McCowan from the Board of Supervisors.
High school and college
Very briefly, I just want to say the county is doing everything it can to respond to this emergency. There were county employees going to work to staff the emergency shelter, the emergency operations command center, well before dawn on Monday. And I think we really need to appreciate all of the first responders, whether they are paid or non-paid. We also need to remember that in an emergency, every public employee becomes an emergency worker. So they were at the shelter, at the command center, and assisting in other ways. So the person that might be across the desk from you at the library or the assessor's office is also your emergency worker. One other thing I wanted, and so I just want to say, budgetary issues are not the issue. If we can provide the assistance, we will. But the constraint is the human resources, because we are also still providing all of the everyday county services. I want to really appreciate CAL FIRE, the governor's office, everyone else who is assisting us. And it's a tremendous response here locally when you consider we are one of about 17 major fire incidents statewide that all began within hours of each other. One more thing I want to say, people ask, where do I take my donations? Well, the county has no ability to deal with clothing donations or other tangible goods. We're fully engaged providing every other service that needs to be provided. The best way to provide donations that can reach the people in need is the Red Cross or the Community Foundation with financial donations. If you are able to, it would be very much welcome. They will make sure those resources are used to provide the goods and services that people need here locally. Thank you.
So Mendocino Community College and Ukiah school districts are closed tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll hopefully be able to tell you what's going to happen on Thursday. Congressman Huffman has toured the damage on Tom Kai, as well as Assemblyman Jim Wood. They joined Senator McGuire and I this morning of going through and talking to CAL FIRE and seeing the damage. I can tell you that Congressman Huffman has absolutely assured the federal assistance in as any way possible that's going to come into Lake County, Mendocino County, Sonoma County, and Napa County. Do we have any other updates? CHP's here. If there's any updates with CHP, no changes. Please don't get mad at us when you can't go through a closed area. There's a reason it's closed. Yes, Gabe.
Sheriff, can we get clarification on Lake County? Highway 20 is open at Sulphur?
Highway 20 is open, however, Sulphur Road is closed. Sulphur Bank is closed. Thanks. Yes.
Yeah, what's the situation with Golden Rule, Pine Mountain, and those locations?
So Golden Rule has not been evacuated that I know of, but Pine Mountain has, and we're trying to repopulate Pine Mountain. However, as was said today, the fire is actually getting closer to Pine Mountain, closer than we thought. What CAL FIRE didn't tell you is actually the fire is getting closer to the CAL FIRE command of Howard Forest, the main fire station. And you can easily see where the fire is coming down towards the fire station. Andy.
We live close. We live on Road E. Is there any way we can get in and get out? Is there some way we can get a ride in there?
I understand that. So the question is can we get rides in? And so tomorrow, as the sheriff's office has done in other emergencies like this, we've worked with citizens to escort you in and escort you out, and that's what we're working on. I can't promise you, Andy. I'm telling you that it's my goal to get some escorts in and out as starting tomorrow. Yes.
So yesterday I was one of the ones that got escorted in, but the desk was set up in downtown Redwood Valley. How do people get? What's the process for that?
We're going to explain that tomorrow. We have to work it out, I promise, so there's less confusion. No, yes.
I evacuated, and my neighbors have private assets that saved my house, and they haven't been allowed to bring in any more assets, and I'm not allowed to go in, and there's no firemen there. I appreciate the police presence, but there's no firemen.
I understand that. And as was said this morning, California right now has 10 fires that have been declared disasters by the governor. So the fire resources, as well as the other resources that CAL FIRE and other state agencies have, are taxed to the max right now. Vacations have been canceled, and
We're a half mile from 101 and right on the...
I understand. Nevada Fire Department's here. I mean, from the state of Nevada, they're utilizing every resource possible. I'm very sorry for your frustration. I can tell you that no one is sitting on their can wondering what to do. Everybody has a job to do.
So just so you understand, we're trying to utilize the resources we have the most efficient way we can, and we've moved them in multiple directions in multiple locations to try to get the best probability of success to get this thing mitigated from getting into the homes. So just because you may or may not see a fire apparatus there, we're getting stuff in and we're pushing it out as soon as we get it in. Like it was mentioned earlier, we've gotten resources in from Nevada, both engines and hand crews, and we're putting them out as soon as we can. So I understand. And we appreciate that. We're doing everything we can to get resources out as best we can. And like it was stated, we have fires not only here in this region, but also over in Butte County, Nevada County, and also in Southern California. So we're continuing to do as best we can with the resources we have.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you use specific road names in Pine Mountain?
Well, off of East Side Road, East Road in Willits.
I mean, like Lakewood, Bear Canyon.
Okay, well, let me tell you this. There are no structures that have been lost in Pine Mountain. The fire is at the eastern base of the Pine Mountain area, whereas if the wind came up, the fire certainly would go up Pine Mountain. So all of the roads right now in Pine Mountain have been evacuated, and there's no structures that have been lost.
One more follow-up. What about Hilltop and Willits off of East?
I am not aware of Hilltop being evacuated. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Is tomorrow when we might be able to get some information about whether there's anything left on our property or not?
As I was saying earlier, we hope to repopulate. I want to address the, if you don't mind, I'm going to be very direct here. The emotional return to houses that are on the ground is a very, very tough thing. And we understand that, I understand that, and we hope to bring families in for a limited amount of time, let's say 15 minutes, to look at their property and then bring them out. It is an emotional event, but the sooner we can get you in there, the better for you and the better for me.
We just want to know if it's even there. It's a monastery.
I understand. So what the phone number that we have listed, if you call with that address, then they will get that information to us, and we're trying to return those phone calls to tell people yes or no, as long as they're prepared for the answer, because sometimes the answer is a really tough answer.
Thank you.
So one of the things to add on, we're working cooperatively with the sheriff. We have someone at the EOC. One of the things I talked about earlier is damage assessment. So we're going out, we're looking at stuff, we're documenting it. One of the things we have the ability to do is track that live through some ability with some new technology we're able to utilize. So we can keep stuff updated pretty much up to the moment as long as those teams are in that process of doing those evaluations. So hopefully maybe tomorrow at our community meeting we can maybe have an updated map so we can show you where things are. Granted, that's not 100%, but we can show you pictures, we can show you where we're at, and then you'll have an idea. Now it's going to be kind of fluid, but we do have those teams on the ground and they're communicating back with us what's happening. So we'll be able to do that relatively quickly, and hopefully we can have that in place for tomorrow. But that is an option that we are trying to get established for you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
I know that we appreciate everybody.
Yes, ma'am. I can't hear you. Sir, 1 second, please. Yes, ma'am.
that? Because if this goes on for a long time, it's really hard to know what's going on. And we do listen to the radio, but it's hit and miss.
I understand the frustration. So the question is U.S. Cellular not having service, and I've certainly talked to the U.S. Cellular today. I have U.S. Cellular, and it's frustrating for me. And so the fact that PG&E is bringing in a cell tower that's going to be multi-services is going to help you and I. Yes, ma'am.
I'm wondering about how we know when we can go in. I left my medication. I can't get it refilled because up in Willits you can't call the doctor. So how do we know, like, where, when, how?
So please listen. So please listen to local radio, and we are giving that information out as quick as possible. Tomorrow at noon, we're going to hopefully have more information on that. But we want to start repopulating to check on animals, to check medication, to check the status of your house. I understand that. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any need to evacuate Gill River Road before you go up to Van Arsdale?
The Van Arsdale property, the Van Arsdale area, there's a very good possibility there's going to be an evacuation. Please, if you can register your cell phone, if you're still getting cell phone service, to a geographical location, it's going to allow you to get that information as quick as anybody else. And please listen to local radio. When we say that there's a possibility, the Van Arsdale area is the only area that I'm aware of where the potential evacuation is going to occur. That's our next evacuation area.
Is that
Yes.
noon meeting here or in Willis?
Noon meeting here.
One of the things we kept hearing yesterday from CAL FIRE was that it was really hard for CAL FIRE to communicate, and I'm wondering why CAL FIRE does not have a satellite phone like the Willits Police Department and Howard Memorial Hospital to improve communications.
You know what? If they don't have one, they don't have one. We're certainly learning from this, and they'll have one next time, I'm sure. Okay, but we're not going to banter of why they don't have something right now. Honestly, yes, ma'am.
But I think just for clarification on the communications, how the 911 system works is there's a primary location where all 911 gets routed, which is the sheriff's office or a police department, and then it gets routed to another one for like emergency medical dispatch. So the infrastructure was damaged by the fire. So I think that's where the discussion about having a hard time to communicate, because that infrastructure was damaged. But what CAL FIRE did was bring in one of our mobile command units and moved it up to Howard Forest so we could have that link. And they also embedded a person with the sheriff's office, which is the primary routing portion for the 911 system. So that area was able to meet that need. As it relates to satellite phones, many of the emergency dispatch centers throughout the state have satellite phones. I don't recall correctly, and I think George is here, whether or not they still have that, but there are satellite phones in different locations.
We have satellite phones. The smoke is prohibiting the accuracy.
So there you go. Did you hear that? The smoke is limiting them from being accurate for the satellite phones. So I think that's where there's a lot of times in these incidents, there's information that gets confused or modified, and not necessarily that it was wrong, but the fact is there was communications challenges because of the infrastructure being damaged by the fire.
But there's no satellite phone at Howard.
They have a satellite phone. It's the smoke that's interrupting its use. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a CAL FIRE question. I know you guys are absolutely strapped, but I haven't seen as much air coverage as usual. Is that because it's spread out over the state? Are we going to be expecting any more soon? Or
So one of the things you'll notice is we had a lot of smoke impact today, and that limits our ability to fly certain types of aircraft. We have been utilizing that aircraft throughout the state, but we did get a lot of fills on our helicopters, so those were utilized today. So you didn't see as much because some of the opportunities were smoked in. But we did have access to that aircraft, and we're continuing to request those when the window of opportunity presents itself.
Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff, any count of missing people?
We are not aware of any missing people that haven't been accounted for, but please, this phone number, if somebody is aware of someone who's missing, contact us, and we can hopefully put you in touch with that person. Okay, yes, ma'am.
My name is Deborah Ramirez. I'm the chair for the Little River Band Homo Indians in Redwood Valley off of Rhode Island. And I would just like to ask, I've got probably a handful of men who've been watching the property, and they were responding alongside of firefighters who are up there, who probably saved the majority of our community. We did lose 30 homes on the reservation.
I heard that, yes.
But, you know, we were very lucky considering we were right in that
Right.
circle of fire. I was just going to ask for clarity. Since we have those 3 or 4 or 5 men up there, they don't have access to water. They're trying to get the generator to get the pump going. We're trying to get them water. We're trying to get them some water and some food. Will that be able to happen tomorrow morning?
We're hoping so. We're hoping we can do it. Last question. Yes, ma'am.
No one in Redwood Valley is allowed back.
We're hoping to repopulate some of it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We still have
Yeah,
dozens of fire engines and so forth.
We live off of Schoolway,
Okay.
and our house is still standing. So
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yes.
Been blessed.
You're standing in front of a woman who lost everything.
I know.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow at 12.
Thank you.
Wait.
One last thing that I wanted to get across. This is a great community. It's a very generous community. And they've been donating stuff to us at our incident base. And we can take care of ourselves. We're here to help you. And I want to reiterate, any type of donations, anything of that nature, please get it to the Red Cross or another local charity here in the community, because we are doing just fine with our needs. So make sure to get those out to your family and your friends and your neighbors, because those are the folks that need it. We're self-contained. We can take care of what our needs are. So once again, I want to thank the community for being very generous, and know that we're here to help you through this process, and we're going to do everything we can to get you headed in the right direction. Thanks again for being cooperative, patient, and understanding, and we'll get through this together. Thanks.
So Willits, Rec Grove tomorrow morning at 10. If you can get that out on the media. Willits, Rec Grove tomorrow morning at 10 for a briefing, and hopefully we'll know more about the phone system, and here tomorrow at 12. Thank you very much.
Thank you.